So right now, we're gonna go downstairs and take a look at the actual skull of Mary Magdalene. Come with me. So according to tradition, this is the area where Mary Magdalene landed when she came to France. She was fleeing persecution alongside Lazarus, Salome, and a group of others. And this persecution was so bad that they actually had to jump into a boat without rudders, without any sort of sail, without any sort of oars, and just go into the Mediterranean Sea and hope for the best. And if you've ever seen the Mediterranean Sea, it was this insane, treacherous journey. I mean, Paul recounts how awful it was for him trying to get just from Israel to Rome. And yet Mary Magdalene and them were exposed to the elements and somehow, miraculously, landed here on the shores of France. And what tradition tells us is that when she landed, she was met by a Roman governor. Now, this Roman governor would have been the very type of person who was persecuting her as she was fleeing Israel. And yet when she gets to the shores of France, that's who she sees. And what tradition says is that as soon as she meets him, she converts him to Christianity and his entire family. And from that moment forward, everything is different in this part of France.
Christianity begins to rapidly spread throughout this region. Lazarus becomes the Bishop of Marseille. But it's at this point that Mary does something really strange and surprising. She goes into seclusion. She leaves Marseille and heads to the mountains where she lives the rest of her life in a cave. In fact, let me show you. This is the cave where tradition says Mary Magdalene spent the last 30 years of her life. It's said that she was so distraught at losing Jesus that she wanted to devote her entire life to spiritual contemplation. So Mary lived alone in this cave, isolated in a remote area without streams or grass or trees. And tradition says that angels would come to her at the 7 canonical hours each day and carry Mary up to heaven for nourishment. And like I said, this goes on for 30 years, until eventually she dies. And let me show you where she's buried.
So according to tradition, Mary Magdalene was brought down here from the caves, and when she was served communion, died instantly. And it wasn't anything suspicious or evil. It was just that she wanted to have the opportunity of being with her Savior through Holy Communion before being with him eternally. It's pretty powerful.